Hello, my wonderful friends, and a very warm welcome back to English Vibe Daily. I'm Adam, and I'm so excited to be with you for this new series where we will explore famous books, discuss powerful ideas, and share inspiring stories, all in slow and clear English that is designed to be easy for you to understand. Each of these episodes is created to be a small, powerful lesson and a real, engaging conversation at the same time. As you listen, you will improve your English comprehension, build your vocabulary, and strengthen your confidence. My goal here is beautifully simple. I want to help you learn English in the most natural way possible, while also learning something interesting, useful, and empowering about life itself. If this sounds like the kind of journey you want to be on, then please take a moment to hit that subscribe button for more lessons just like this one. Today, we are going to talk about a book that has the power to completely change the way you think about yourself and your potential in this life. The book is called Mindset: The New Psychology of Success, and it's written by a world-renowned Stanford University psychologist named Dr. Carol Dweck. This book is not about becoming rich. It's not about being lucky, and it's not even about how much natural talent you were born with. It is about something much deeper and more powerful: the way you think. Because, as Dr. Dweck proves, the way you think about your own abilities shapes every single aspect of your life. The word mindset simply means the collection of attitudes and beliefs you hold about yourself. It is your fundamental belief about what you can do and what you cannot do. For example, if you have the thought, "I am just bad at learning languages, so it's probably best to stop trying," that is a mindset speaking. On the other hand, if your inner voice says, "I know I'm not very good at this yet, but I am absolutely certain I can get better if I keep practicing," that is also a mindset speaking. Dr. Dweck's groundbreaking research reveals that there are two main types of mindsets that shape our lives. The first one is called the fixed mindset. This is the core belief that your intelligence, your talents, and your personality are qualities you are simply born with. They are fixed, like the color of your eyes, and cannot really change. The second type of mindset is the growth mindset. This is the empowering belief that you can grow, learn, and improve your abilities through dedication, effort, and good strategies. Your mindset, whether you are aware of it or not, is the invisible force that determines whether you give up in the face of a challenge or you keep on going. It decides whether you stay stuck in the same place for years or you grow into a more capable and fulfilled person. In today's lesson, I will explain each of these mindsets in detail, with clear examples of how they impact us in school, at work, and in our personal lives. And most importantly, we will talk about how you can consciously change your own mindset to become a stronger, happier, and more successful individual. So please, sit back, relax your shoulders, and listen carefully to these life-changing ideas. All right, let's begin by taking a deeper look at the fixed mindset. A fixed mindset is the deeply ingrained belief that your core qualities, like your intelligence or your artistic talent, are simply set in stone. The phrase "set in stone" is a wonderful idiom that means something cannot be changed. It is permanent. People who operate from a fixed mindset hold powerful beliefs like, "I'm either smart or I'm not smart," or "I was either born with creative talent or I wasn't." They see their abilities as something you are gifted with at birth, something that you can't really improve through effort. This way of thinking leads to a very specific set of behaviors that limit a person's potential. Imagine a student named Adam. Adam tries to solve a difficult math problem, but he gets it wrong. If he has a fixed mindset, what does he tell himself? He will likely say, "See, I'm just not a math person. I'm no good at this." He doesn't see the mistake as a temporary problem. He sees it as a final judgment on his ability. What happens next? He stops trying. He begins to actively avoid hard questions and challenging subjects because they threaten his sense of being smart. Every difficult problem feels like a test of his innate talent, and the fear of failing is overwhelming. People with a fixed mindset are terrified of failure. They believe that failing at something means they are a failure as a person. So, to protect their ego, they avoid challenges and difficulties at all costs. They prefer to stick to doing the things they already know they are good at. This makes them look smart and competent, and it helps them avoid looking dumb in front of other people. The core problem here is that they believe effort is something only for people who don't have natural talent. They think, "If I was truly smart, I wouldn't have to try so hard." This mindset builds invisible walls all around your potential. It tells you to play it safe, to never risk failure, and to give up easily when things get hard. It is a mindset that leads to stagnation. Now let's explore the beautiful and powerful alternative, the growth mindset. A growth mindset is the exact opposite. It is the core belief that your abilities can be developed and can grow through your dedicated effort, your curiosity to learn, and your persistence in practicing. People with a growth mindset have a very different internal voice. They say things like, "I am absolutely capable of learning this," or, the most powerful word of all, "I'm not good at this yet, but I know I can get better." They see mistakes not as a judgment, but as a helpful guide, a teacher that shows them what they need to work on. Let's imagine Adam again, but this time he has a growth mindset. He gets the same difficult math question wrong, but his reaction is completely different. He says to himself, "Okay, that approach didn't work. I don't fully understand this yet. Let me try a different strategy. I will ask my teacher for help tomorrow. I am going to figure this out." Can you feel the difference in that energy? People with a growth mindset embrace challenges. To embrace something means to welcome it with open arms. They actively seek out hard tasks because they intuitively understand that this is where the real growth happens. They deeply value effort because they know that consistent practice is what builds skill and mastery. They view their mistakes as valuable teachers. A mistake is not a verdict on their intelligence. It is simply useful information, feedback that guides them on their journey of learning. A growth mindset opens all the doors that a fixed mindset slams shut. It removes the imaginary limits on your potential and makes success possible for anyone, no matter where they start. Dr. Dweck's research, especially with students, revealed something truly revolutionary. It turns out that intelligence is not fixed at all. Your brain is much more like a muscle than you think. The more you use it, the more you challenge it, the stronger and more capable it becomes. She found that students with a fixed mindset would often make limiting statements like, "I'm just not a smart person. I'll never be able to do math," or "I hate reading because it's too hard." They would give up the moment things became difficult, terrified that making mistakes would prove that they weren't smart. But the students who were encouraged to have a growth mindset had a completely different experience. They would say things like, "I don't quite understand this yet. I just need to practice a little more." Or, "I know I will get better at this with time and effort." So, they would try again and again, using their mistakes as helpful clues. Over the course of the school year, these growth mindset students would improve far more dramatically than their fixed mindset peers. Teachers and parents play a huge role in shaping this. When adults praise children for being smart, it can unintentionally foster a fixed mindset. The child becomes afraid to fail because they don't want to lose their smart label. But when teachers praise a student's effort, their strategies, or their persistence, the student learns a much more valuable lesson: that working hard is the real key to success. This concept is just as powerful in the workplace as it is in the classroom. An employee with a fixed mindset will often avoid taking on new, challenging tasks because they are afraid of failing and looking incompetent. They might say, "Oh, I'm just not a natural leader," or "I'm not one of those creative types," and so they never step outside of their comfort zone. They also tend to reject constructive feedback because they see it as a personal criticism, not as helpful advice. In stark contrast, an employee with a growth mindset sees their workplace as a giant learning laboratory. They welcome feedback because they know it is the fastest way to get better. They volunteer for difficult projects because they see challenges as exciting opportunities to improve. And because of this proactive approach, they tend to grow much faster in their careers. Imagine two people, Adam and Sarah, starting the same job on the same day. Adam has a fixed mindset. When faced with giving a presentation, he says, "I'm just not good at public speaking. I will never be." He avoids giving presentations whenever possible, and as a result, he never improves. Sarah, with her growth mindset, feels nervous too, but tells herself, "I'm not very good at this yet, but it's a skill I can definitely learn." She practices, she watches other speakers, she asks for feedback from her colleagues, and she slowly improves. In 1 year, she is a confident and effective presenter. It was her mindset that made all the difference. Perhaps the most exciting part of Dr. Dweck's research is what it reveals about the physical nature of your brain. Many people mistakenly think the brain is like a rock, hard, fixed, and unchangeable from birth. But decades of neuroscience have proven that this is completely false. Your brain is not fixed. It is incredibly flexible. The scientific term for this is neuroplasticity, which simply means that your brain has the amazing ability to change, grow, and reorganize itself throughout your entire life. Every single time you learn something new, whether it's a new English word, a new recipe, or a new dance move, you are physically changing the structure of your brain. Inside your head are billions of tiny brain cells called neurons. When you learn, your brain creates new connections or pathways between these neurons. You can imagine these pathways like trails in a dense forest. The very first time you try something new, like speaking a new English phrase, the trail is very small and weak. It's difficult and slow to walk down. But if you keep practicing, if you walk down that same trail again and again, it gets wider, clearer, and much easier to travel. After enough repetition, that small, weak trail becomes a strong, smooth road. This is precisely how learning happens inside your brain. Every time you practice, that neural road becomes stronger, and the skill starts to feel natural and easy. So no matter how old you are or where you are starting from, know this. You have the power to literally build a new brain, one step at a time. So here is the absolute best part of this entire book. This isn't just interesting information. It's a practical guide. You can start changing your mindset from a fixed one to a growth one, beginning today. Here is your action plan. First, you must become aware of your own thoughts. Start to listen carefully to that voice inside your head. Notice when you say self-limiting things like, "Oh, I could never do that," or "I'm just not good enough at this." The moment you catch that fixed mindset thought, you can change it by simply adding the magic word, yet. I can't do this. Yet. I'm not good at this. Yet. This tiny word opens up the possibility of future growth. Second, begin to practice speaking to yourself in a more encouraging and constructive way. Instead of telling yourself, "I failed," you can reframe it and say, "That was a great learning experience." Instead of, "I'm just not talented," you can say, "This is going to take some time and effort, and I'm ready for the challenge." Your self-talk has an enormous impact on your motivation and your resilience. Third, you must actively challenge yourself. Step outside of your comfort zone and try things that you are a little afraid of. Welcome mistakes as part of the process. Every time you try something difficult, you are actively exercising and strengthening your growth mindset muscle. And finally, if you can, surround yourself with people who also believe in growth. Spend your time with friends, mentors, and colleagues who encourage you, who support your efforts, and who gently push you to keep improving. Remember, changing your mindset is just like building any other muscle in your body. The more you consciously practice thinking from a place of growth, the stronger and more natural it will become. Thank you so much for listening and for joining me here at English Vibe Daily today. I truly hope this inspiring story of mindset helps you to believe in yourself and your own incredible potential just a little bit more. Until our next lesson, I encourage you to keep trying, keep learning, and most importantly, keep growing. Bye for now.